morning, Yardners. We are going to check out the first frost. It has frosted here in Willamette Valley, Oregon for 2 nights now. It got down to 26 last night, and then currently it's 34 degrees. So it's Sunday morning. It's sunny, but it is cold. So let's take a look around the yard and see how everything did and see the cold damage that is par for the course, but also kind of sad. So let's go take a look around the yard this morning. So first thing I noticed this morning after the frost is my coleus. The coleus is gone. Now the creeping jenny that was in the front, it's like a different creeping jenny. Let's see if I can find the tag for it. It did well, and then these grasses did really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the coleus though. Sorry about the shadow, because you can see it's done for. These did pretty good. These are still kicking it. I don't know that they're gonna bloom anymore, but they seem all right. So let's walk around and see what else we can find. Pansies seem like they're doing okay. These are the pansies that I planted up recently. And yeah, we've got some blooms there and they seem like they're doing really well. Everything in this bed looks like it's all right, except for when we get over to more coleus. Sorry about my dogs barking. There's another coleus, there's another coleus. So I'm feeling really grateful that I did some cuttings of those and that I have some propagations in my greenhouse that I saved. Pansies here look good. I did a lot of trimming back here. It looks like the fuchsias did okay. Still got some blooms on these fuchsias and they look good. So that's good news. Everything here looks all right. This hosta surprisingly looks decent still. And then I've cut back almost everything through here. So this area is looking a little empty. So I'm gonna go through, let's go to my Vigo garden beds and see how we did over here. Oof, these are still have a lot of frost on them this morning. So I'm not sure when the sun hits these, hopefully they'll pop back up. So you can see the frost here, look at this. It's actually really pretty with the frost on it, but I'm hoping all of this will stay alive. We shall see. This one I'm not so sure about. It is some sort of succulent, and yeah, that one might be toast. Over here, it looks like these did okay. So if you haven't seen the videos where I planted up these two beds for, you know, cold hardy plants, I'll link those down below, but everything here looks all right. Nothing's totally, you know, gone. Everything's got a little bit of frost. Now the sun patience here is another story. I knew that these would go the minute the frost hit, so that's okay. I have another plan for this bed. And also my elephant ear. So about 2 videos ago, I was just looking back and these were beautiful and they were in the breeze, and now they are done. So my plan for these is to just cut them back, and then I'm gonna take this whole pot and I'm gonna store it either in my garage or my shed. And I'm hoping that if I keep them in the garage and the shed, I guess the rhizomes or tubers, they're basically like a bulb. I'm hoping they'll survive and come back next year for me. So I'm gonna get on that today. This one is also gone. This is a lily, not a daylily, but a calla lily. And so I knew that that would do that as well, but you can definitely see the frost damage. And then unfortunately this was like a sage, like a purple sage, and it also is toast. So I'll have to trim that back and maybe it'll come back next year. You can see the frost on the grass here where the sun hasn't hit yet. So let me look around a little bit more and see what else we can find that did and didn't survive the first frost here in my yard. Bird bath has ice on it. Oh, it is frozen solid. Yep, that is. Oh, that's pretty much frozen solid there. I'll crack it for the birds in case they need a drink. I did check my hummingbird feeders this morning to make sure that my hummingbirds had, you know, a feeder that is not frozen, because it's really important that we have hummingbirds that stay in our area all year. And so I wanted to be sure that they are being fed. Everything here looks okay. Now these mums are kind of more protected. They're near the house here, and I think it stayed a little bit warmer. I also noticed that my coleus on my patio did okay. So these planters here did all right. Even a little bit of the diamond snow euphorbia, I think, got it here in the corner. It got a little too cold, but this one, yeah, this diamond snow is it's a little soggy. I'm not sure if it's gonna make it, but the pansies did fine. And then the Dusty Miller is always a good one for cold hardiness. But I do have some coleus, but see, they're up here by the house. So all of these are okay, and they were protected from the frost. I even still have some nasturtiums that are okay. So the frost, you know, these are all protected over here. So these are all fine on my patio where it's a little bit warmer. This coleus is still kicking it. So that is kind of nice, and I can enjoy those from sitting in the room there. So that's nice. So I'm gonna buzz out to the front yard and let's see what's out there. So I'm walking out to the front now. Cabbage looks good, or the cauliflower. These ones got a little droopy. I still need to get these in the ground. So I'll have to wait for a warmer moment here to get some of those in the ground. These are done. These cosmos. It's like such a bittersweet moment. You know, these were gorgeous, and look at all the buds that were still on them. I should have moved that into the greenhouse. But that's okay. Ready to be done with this planter anyway. So I'll have to get that trimmed back. And then broccoli looks great. You know, broccoli's pretty cold hardy. You can see some of it still has some frost on it, and doesn't look any worse for the wear. So, all right, it's time to go out front and see how things are looking out there. So we have two trees in the front here, and their common name is a peanut butter tree. And it's kind of interesting. The minute the frost hits, all the leaves just, whoop, they just all fall down. So we've got to get out here and rake those up at some point, but no huge hurry. This is our Halloween minion here, but here is my coleus in the front. So definitely not cold hardy, these coleus. My little arborvitae, these are a one from Proven Winners. They're not the tater tot, they're the ball, gazing ball, magic ball arborvitae from Proven Winners, I believe. They look great. This is also a Proven Winners, and it seemed to survive okay. Looks like it's still going. The salvia is still looking pretty good. But the coleus over here in the front walk is toast. So I'm gonna pull that out today. I do have some purple cabbage here, and I haven't even got them in the ground. They're just literally in pots, but they look kind of nice. So if I get that coleus out of there, this should look pretty good. Over here, this planter did pretty well. Again, it's near the house. I've got some of these were the Halloween petunias. No, not petunias, pansies that were supposed to be orange and purple. They haven't done too much for me yet, but they are blooming a little bit. And then up here in the front walk, I'm curious how my planters did up here in the frost. So everything's looking pretty good. This is the one I wasn't sure about. No, this is the, I forget the plant names as I'm walking around, but it's actually okay. It looks like it did okay. Yeah, okay, well that's kind of a surprise. I wasn't sure about that. Lemon coral sedum, that's what that is. Check it out. I mean, it is near the house and it's under cover and it's protected. So maybe that's why. Look at this beautifulness. Love these grasses. Purple fountain grass there. Yeah, everything else up here looks pretty good. So mainly just the coleus, but you can see it's pretty cold out here. I don't know if you can see across the street. This is another one of those peanut butter trees that has dropped every single leaf pretty much just overnight. It's crazy how that does that. Out here I have some Shasta daisies and some daylilies, and they are still up. They still look all right. They're definitely in hibernation. And then I've got two hostas. There's one right here, and then there's one right there. They're all obviously covered by leaves, but they probably need to be trimmed back now as well. So I'm gonna head over to the side yard here and see how things are looking over there. A lot of bird activity this morning. All the birds are looking for something to eat. There they go. Sorry, birds. I don't mean to disturb you. Now, technically, I haven't done a October garden tour, so I guess we could call this my October garden tour. This is the beauty berry. This is from Proven Winners, and so far it's doing okay, but it did not get like the purple berries that it's supposed to get on it. So I'm not sure if it just didn't get enough sun or if it's because it's the first year that it's, you know, establishing. This little grass looks good. This is a yarrow, and it's probably tripled in size, that mound, and it's looking pretty good. I've got some sedum here that looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty, over here is looking not too bad, not too bad. Nothing that really like did the hard freeze drop. Got a little rose here that's still kicking it. Yeah, so maybe we'll call this video my October garden tour since I didn't get a garden tour in before the first frost. Here's another sedum that's, you know, done for the season, but I'm just gonna leave it as some winter interest. And then my little smoke bush back here, which has this funky little long stem on it in the back, but it's looking pretty good. So yeah, over here, everything actually looks pretty good. Nothing, it's mainly those coleus, I feel like, that just really dropped. This drumstick flower is supposed to be an annual, and it's like still going strong. Look at that bloom. It's still got some buds. It's got the spent blooms, which are, I think, will provide some winter interest. So we'll see. It was supposed to be just an annual. It was supposed to die back, but it sure doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It looks like it's pretty happy there. The only thing I'm kind of bummed about over here is that beauty berry. So I did see that, you know, they need to have a lot of sun in order to bloom. I mean, I see some little buds right there, but I'm not sure. I was hoping for those really pretty purple berries that they get. And then my blueberries in the front right here have some beautiful autumnal color. I love the way they look this time of year. They will drop these leaves at some point, but right now they look really pretty. And there's about 4 different kinds. I know this one is like a mini blueberry. It has like a different color foliage, but they're looking really pretty through here. So overall, everything in the front looking pretty good. Just those coleus. So I'm gonna get out here and do a little cleanup on those today and kind of freshen this area up. But overall, things still look really pretty. Japanese maple's got that purple color going. When the sun hits it, it just looks like it's glowing. It's really pretty. All right, let's go get a couple things done today and get some stuff cleaned up after our first frost. I took a little pit stop in the greenhouse just to see how warm it is in here right now. And everything's looking good. I've got some of these squash still ripening up in here, and they seem like they are getting a little bit riper. I just wanted to show you my little heater that I have for my greenhouse. So this is a Green Bio Palma. So this is a specific greenhouse heater, and then it connects to this thermostat here. And so we just have this going with an extension cord, and it is keeping it above freezing in here. So you can see it's 49 in here right now. These are those wire vines that I'm sort of isolating that had some damage from some insects. But overall, everything in the greenhouse, like, it's warm in here, the sun's coming in, and everything's looking so lush and pretty in here. So here's some of that coleus propagations that I was able to save. And then I've got one coleus here that's still beautiful. So I'm glad that I, you know, saved a few of my coleus so that I could, you know, have some for next year potentially. Oh, and then I wanted to show you this. Check out this bloom on this one. Isn't that beautiful? So this thing is a red tiger flowering maple. Attracts hummingbirds. They told me it would actually survive in the ground, but I've just been keeping it in my greenhouse. But this is the first time it's bloomed for me. Isn't that awesome? And look, I have another bud right here. So I'm trying to keep it watered and fertilized so I can get a couple more blooms out of it. So yeah, anyway, it feels really warm and nice in here right now, but I just wanted to check and make sure that that heater was going. This is a begonia that I dug out of the ground. Now I saw that you could try to save begonias in a warmer environment, so we'll see. I potted it up and we'll see. I just thought it was so pretty. I wanted to try to dig it up out of the ground. And then I did bring my lantanas in. So these are ones that are not cold hardy. These would have died outside. So, but you can see in here, they're just blooming and super, super happy. So definitely trying to save a few plants. These are the geraniums that I did. A couple of these were in the ground this fall and winter. Oh, I'm sorry, in the summer. Oh, and here's some more coleus. So these are a couple more coleus propagations. So I think I have enough coleus, people. I do love coleus, so that's why I tried to propagate so many of them to try to save them. So even though the ones in the ground are toast, there's still some warmth to be had here in my greenhouse and some plants. Oh, it is so cold. My fingers are frozen walking around and showing you guys this. Here, let me get over here so the sun's not in a crazy spot. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna be able to spend a ton of time out here. I'm gonna freeze. So I'm gonna get a couple of these coleus pulled out just to kind of clean it up. And then I'm gonna go inside and have a second cup of coffee this morning and get warmed back up. But I guess we could call this my official October garden tour, even though it is like one of the last days of October. We had our little Halloween party last night. I will drop a picture of my costume. I was poison ivy because my friends often call me the crazy plant lady. So I figured, well, if I'm gonna be a crazy plant lady, I might as well be poison ivy. So anyway, I'll drop a picture of my costume last night. We had a lot of fun with the kids and did our little annual Halloween party. But this morning, I'm gonna get out here in the cold. Can you see my breath? And get a couple of these things cleaned up. And I have to say, even though it's cold and the frost is here, it still feels really good to be outdoors and be in my yard today. So let's get a couple things done. Other things, I just wanted to point out the dianthus and how cold hardy these are. So these are still giving me blooms right through here. So if you've never tried dianthus and you live in a zone similar to mine, I'm in zone 8B here in Oregon, you might give those a try. They look great this morning. And then also look at my strawberries, you guys. I still have some random strawberries over here that are still producing. Now these little planters are undercover, so they probably were a little bit protected from the frost. But isn't that crazy that I still have strawberries even though it was 20 some degrees last night? Wild. Also, I wanted to show you the planter that I just planted up the other night. If you haven't watched that video, I'll link it down below, of the cyclamen. They did really, really well in the frost. I honestly wasn't sure how they would do, and they look perfect. So I'm really happy with that. And then of course the evergreen is looking good too, but they're a little protected because they have a little bit of, cover here from the butterfly bush and the rhodie and stuff, but really pleased that they didn't freeze. Right, Midnight? Are you happy about that too? Those dogs. Oh, I'm getting buzzed by a hummingbird. Anyway, cyclamen, A+ for frost, at least a light frost resistance. I am back in my greenhouse. I got a few things done I wanted to get done this morning. Pulled out all the coleus, cut back anything that had shown that it was just dead from the frost that we got, and just looking at the forecast, and we've got frost in the forecast for the next couple days. So it's time to get my greenhouse winterized. So my husband and I need to work on that. Basically we cover it with like styrofoam, and then we tarp everything. And so it does help hugely with the amount of heat loss in the greenhouse. So anyway, I'm in the greenhouse because I'm freezing. My fingers are like icicles. So if you guys know any good gardening gloves that are like fleece lined or good for like winter gardening, can you drop it in the comments for me? I think there is such a thing, but I don't know what they are, what they're called. So I'm gonna have to do some research, because my gloves that I had, those leather ones, were like frozen solid. So, and my hands are frozen solid. But anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with me in my yard and checking out my first frost damage. But also, you know, it's kind of fun to know that the seasons are changing, and like, you know, some winter gardening can potentially happen. I have one more Vigo garden bed to plant up with some winter interests, so stay tuned for that video. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me in my yard today. I hope that you liked the video. I'm gonna head inside now and get that second cup of coffee because I really need it now. And if you liked the video, if you could subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up, I would surely appreciate it. If you need me, I'll be hanging out in the yard, even when it's cold and frozen. And actually, maybe I'll be in my greenhouse for a little while because I need to warm up. So anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye.